Hello, hello. It's a good day.
It's a very good day. It's
Cloudy, but it's a good day.
it's warm on the inside. Chifundo and his mask.
Yeah.
So yeah, as he said, it's a good day. It's been 2 days since we last voted. Some of us did, some of us did, others did not. Others.
Legit reasons.
No, yeah, he wasn't in the country when we were registering, so he couldn't have voted.
But apparently people could have still voted still.
No, but they said that those who registered this time around weren't affected voters because the focus was on people who were affected in the last cycle. But that's not what we're talking about. Yes, we're talking about that, but not that exactly. So today we're talking about the victory of the Tonse alliance.
Yep.
Yeah, so how does that feel?
How does it feel? It's back home, man. The country is back in the right hands.
It's
That's what I would like to say, like real leadership. For you.
oh, it's exciting, you know. It's something that seemed impossible, but it really happened, and the way it happened.
Possible?
I mean, the things you hear. You know, we live in the digital WhatsApp age with our mothers and our aunts, no offense, who will forward any message they find, and then they forward the ones that really scare us, and then we're like, are we really going to make it? So here we got to a point where it was like, is this really meant to happen, and is this not? But by God's grace, we have gotten that victory, and that's essentially what we're talking about, that Tuesday's election victory is a victory not just for Tonse Alliance, but it's a victory for all of us.
For all of us.
Yeah.
Hence Tonse though.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty true. These guys really must have sat down and thought about it, because when you heard the mega announcements, it was like, Danny Tonse got voted.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, wait, what? You know, of all the names they could have come with, that's the best alliance name. Because it was very inclusive, from the political parties to the people to the different faiths. You know, you have people that have been divided by boundaries, regions and districts, all coming together and saying that even though I am from Rumpi, even though I am from Chihuahua, even though I'm from Ilongo, even though I'm from Sanje, even though I'm Yao, Lomwe, Catholic, Muslim, Adventist, Assemblies, Presbyterian. I want to create a better Malawi for every single person. And so let's all get together and band up to support this one person. And that's the biggest victory we could celebrate right now.
As you say, since 94.
26 years.
26 years.
26
of
years.
Basically the same group of people.
Because UDF is basically a breakaway from MCV, and then DBB was basically UDF again. But regardless of that, we're not really dwelling on the politics of Malawi, but what we're trying to say is the victory is for you, for me, for everyone. So every Malawian has won. And every Malawian should now take that role to hold the government accountable, regardless of whether you voted for them or against them. And the same thing applies to the government, that they should work to make Malawi as equitable. You know,
apparently I heard that we've never had a good governance.
Really?
Yeah. Like, sure, we've had phases of like good leadership, but we've never had a good governance. That's what I heard. Someone was telling us, like,
it's very interesting.
I have some like damn governance.
That's very interesting.
We've had our moments of like proper phases of like development and all that, but governance, we've never had the proper best governance since independence. So I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
I think independence era governance could be alright, but I hear that during Bagiri's first term, he demystified the presidency. So he took all the steps to make sure that the presidency wasn't the person we feared, but rather we can relate to and respect to. That's why he was usually the comedian at his rallies. He would appear before parliament to give an account of things, which over time changed. But Bagiri did a lot of demystifying. Bingo did a lot of development projects which we didn't understand. So because we're still in that bubble, we didn't understand what he was doing. In his first term, he did a lot of development projects. In his second term, he wanted to develop the country to a point where we could fund ourselves. So since we didn't understand the cost that came with that, we went out against him. But eventually, as people, we never understand what our leaders are trying to do. So we eventually go out against him. As for Joyce Banda, I respect her because she did a lot of empowerment and social work as a leader, and that's her personality.
Yeah, that is her personality. Yeah.
And when you look at Peter Mutharika, with respect, our beloved leader went on, as Gordon Morongo would say, he wanted the presidency, he got it, that's it.
Ah, that's it.
So long as I get it, that's it. So, in a way, he was clueless. But that's not what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I hope that part gets clear. But the point is, Peter Mutharika is a good policy person as a lawyer, because he understands what should go into documents. Despite other issues, I believe that Peter Mutharika would have made a great leader in terms of developing Malawi's policies and leaving the rest to more experienced professionals.
Yeah.
But now the new government features Dr. Laz and Dr. SKC. So it's an interesting government because these two during a debate seem to go neck to neck, but they never castigated one another. Like, if you see the rise or if you go back, you find that these two never really attack each other. It's more of addressing the key issues, and Dr. Laz never really castigates the person, but addresses the key issues.
That's what it's supposed to be. It's not about the person, but rather the issues that we're dealing with.
Yeah, and then in the long run, when you look at where we've gotten now as a nation, and just the election victory, or even when they went to court, it was and this is where the supporters usually misunderstand things, where we tend to confuse our own leaders. We say that no, he went on his own, this one didn't know what he was doing. But even when they won, they didn't say, oh, Dr. Lazarus, you've won on this side and Dr. John, you've won on this side. They made it as one case, that you've both won. And that's where it all starts, at that unity. Because as a nation, our seal, our nation's coat of arms and seal, it says unity and freedom. And that's what we were meant to aspire to. That's what the Alliance taught us, that regardless of where you're coming from, regardless of who you are, regardless of which party you represent, let's be united to get our freedom, our democratic freedom that represents a lot.
And I think this Tonse Alliance has really achieved that.
Yeah. I mean, the name itself, at first you begin to wonder, why didn't they call it UTMCP? It deals on the parties, it's really cool, it's catchy, but they chose the phrase Tonse. And that's a bit of a psychological thing that you marketers really know.
Yeah, definitely, right?
The more you're like, Tonse rufuna, and then everybody's like, Tonse. And you hear it so much that you're like, wait a minute, was this whole part of the alliance? Because they could have picked any name, but they picked something that represents all of us. And much as Tonse has won, it represents you and me as the winners, because every single Malawian has won. Even the people who say no, that even they have won, and even they get a chance. And this reminds me, I've been reading a book called Leading Like Madiba by Martin Kalungu-Banda. It's a collection of different stories on how Nelson Mandela came out and how he responded. And it's a story of him and the person he was competing against in the election, and Mr. Buthelezi. So Mandela floored him, he won against the guy, this is opposition guy, but you know what Mandela did? He brought him into his cabinet, which is an inclusive thing. And then there's usually a scenario where you can't have both the president and vice president out of the country. That's never meant to happen in any government. But Thabo Mbeki had left, he was attending something, and Nelson Mandela had to attend something. Do you know who he appointed to be acting president?
No.
The Buthelezi guy, the opposition person. So that's just a sign of how mature we have to be even in Malawi. We've seen previous governments, Joyce Banda, Professor Mutharika, include Arube in their cabinets. But now, as we're going, we need to not just include people as politicians. We need technocrats. We need people who know how to make a difference in the system. We need to have ministers who know what the Minister of Agriculture does.
Yeah.
We need to have people who know international relations and who know what foreign affairs really means. We need people who have succeeded at turning around failing corporations to help us in our finances.
Yeah, more to do with competence rather than just connections or these things. Yeah.
We need to get rid of that I know a guy mentality, and that's pretty present.
Or you
here.
owe me this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But we have to know that if there's one thing I really saw, I know people from Lilongwe who could have set up their money, but they weren't as far as going to Malawi.
That's
People went to Salima, and this is a shout out to everybody who gave their resources at time just to help us get here, because this is truly a victory for all of us.
Yeah.
This is a victory for all of us, to a point where you're like, yo, I really can't believe we've actually got. I still can't. Like, it's like,
wasn't that the only outcome though?
Elections are unpredictable in Africa.
Well, if they cheat, yeah. But other than that, I feel like even from the first go, it's like, guys, I feel like that should be the only outcome. I don't know what happened, but
I don't know if you read the papers on the opinion poll that somebody was like, no, it's wrong, it's Floyd. But after that poll, it was like, okay, it's going to happen, but we still have a stumbling block. But people really gave everything.
Yeah, this time it was like, it's going to happen. Yeah.
And in that unity, we're reminded of a proverb that is strength in numbers, or the popular African proverb: if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you really want to go far, you go together. And that's just what happened. And that's where the emphasis of our entire podcast or vlog isn't to tell you to be against somebody just because of a party. At the end of the day, we are all Malawians.
Yeah.
We're all born in this country. We all represent a black, red, and green flag. We all represent 265, regardless of where you come from. Because this is proof that we can vote not based on tribal lines, not based on party lines, but we can vote to make a change.
Yeah.
And this should go out to all politicians as well, that people are watching, and if you don't perform, they are going to kick you out.
Yeah. We kick you out
in the most natural way.
Yeah.
But we really have to give thanks to everybody who gave everything. Those who gave up the opportunity to run for president or be the vice president. Those who gave up some really great positions, and even the powerful endorsements.
Yeah.
Hey, endorsements, those are costly, but they come for something. And also, I think there's something I've been thinking on that, you know, freedom isn't cheap. Freedom has a cost attached to it, and that's what we have seen. We apologize for those that have lost their property during the demonstrations, those that have lost their lives, those that have been beaten or hurt. But our freedom really came at a cost for all of us. And it even came at a cost, even in the courts, because we had hearings of how some lawyers were attacked.
Yeah.
But they did their best, and we should really appreciate the hard work that's been done by different arms, different estates. You know, it's called, we have 3 estates in the country, and then we have the 4th one, which is the media.
Yeah.
We have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So everybody's played their role. And in the words of our beloved leader, it's ANANA.
But yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, we're wrapping up.
I think we are. I think this is the shortest podcast we've ever done.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
Is there anything else you're feeling right now, or?
Nah, just happiness, bro. It's like, it's kwacha.
So go out to
Yeah.
But even in light of that, you know, this is 2020, and Bagiri Moose laid out Vision 2020 some 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think this is because there's something about Malawi being democratically mature.
Yeah.
So I think this is where we're at. So even as we're wrapping up, Vision 2020 has showed us that even the world should see by now that we are a country that abides by the rule of law. We respect the will of the people. And we, the people, have a voice.
We have a voice.
Yeah, so our voice is powerful. We just really have to remember to scream. We have to scream or shout. We just have to express our voice in the most comfortable way we can, in the most audible way we can. And sometimes that's even congratulating somebody on their win, appreciating somebody's efforts, and learning to say thank you for your time and your sacrifice. Because that's exactly what we should be saying to the different people. We should also really applaud our defense forces. You guys really send us, you really represent people. You're also the people. And at the same time, we should thank the commission. Justice Kajari has had 2 weeks, but he did an amazing job. And he's very professional. And I remember last night when he was saying, you know what, I feel like saying goodnight. I think he was talking to a journalist at the time. He was wrapping up. I feel like saying goodnight, but I feel like going to reciprocate. But I'll still say goodnight. And I felt like saying good night to you too, Justice. Good night to you too. Because that's just how proud I am to be here. And I believe in the future of Malawi that as we are about to celebrate independence the other week, we are moving towards something great, not just for us, but for the future generations and the next leaders of Malawi. So together we can do this. Let's be united, let's be free. I hope Chifundo will attach the national anthem at the end of this. But yeah, this is the shortest vlog and podcast. Send us your feedback, hit us up, let's have a conversation. Tell us what you want us to talk about. And this is just one of the things we really wanted to share that's been on our hearts. Peace out.
Peace.
It's the shortest.